Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Adriana, and in this video I'll be painting a creek with watercolors, and I'll explain my process as I do so. I start by marking the horizon. I draw some distant pine trees and then some closer pine trees. I add the reed beds in the foreground and hatch some areas to indicate the shadows in the reeds. Then, I draw on the reed beds that lead the eye to the background, adding more hatching to remind myself where I want my darker colors to go. Into an old ultramarine mixture, I add some cobalt blue and phthalo turquoise and add that to the sky area. Then I clean my brush with water and paint in the clouds with whatever pigment is still left over in my brush. I mix forest green and some Venetian red to make a dark green for the closer trees that are quite dark in my reference photo. For the most distant trees, I add some cobalt blue and phthalo turquoise to my green mixture. In front of those trees is a line of bushes that in my reference photo are brown, but I decide I want to make them purple to make the painting more interesting. So to that same mixture, I add more forest green, Venetian red, and cobalt violet. Then I remove some of that mixture to create a pale desaturated orange for the reeds in the background and midground. I add some yellow ochre, burnt sienna, and some orange. For this first layer, I'm using a lot of water in my mixtures and not much pigment. My mixtures will become thicker for the second and third layers. Now for the closer reeds, I'm making a more saturated and bright orange by adding more orange pigment. I'm just blocking in these shapes with the lightest version of their color. For the water, I'm making a very light blue-gray using my sky blue and some old black paint. I indicate some darker areas with just the light black paint. Now, with more pigment in my mixture, I'm making a dark green for the pine trees using the same forest green and Venetian red until the mixture is as thick and dark in value as I want. I'm using fast, expressive brush marks to indicate the limbs of the trees, and I'm leaving some areas of my lighter green to show through for some sunlight effect. I add more phthalo turquoise to that tree mixture, and I add another layer to the most distant trees, again letting some of that first layer show through. For the second layer for the purple bushes, I again add more Venetian red and cobalt violet. To make the mid-tone color for the distant reeds, I combined my orange reed mixture and the purple mixture I just created. But I decided I didn't like that, so I add some burnt sienna to make it more orange. For the background trees, I knew I only wanted to do 2 layers because I didn't want them to be that detailed, as we aren't supposed to be able to see them as well as the reeds in the midground and foreground. So for the reeds in the midground and foreground, I'm going to do 3 layers total instead of 2. So I'm working with my mid-tone orange right now, again leaving some of that first layer where the sun is lighting up the tops of the reeds. Now, with ultramarine, turquoise, and burnt sienna, I'm mixing up an exaggerated blue for the dark areas of the water. A boat had just gone through this waterway and cleared away some of the brush, and it made some areas where the sunlight hits the water more reflective and bright, but it made other areas more dark. So I'm indicating those areas as well as some of the shadows in the water created by the reeds with this dark blue. I thought I would only want 2 tones for the water, but I decided that ended up looking too harsh, so I thinned the mixture and add some more mid-tone areas to the water, leaving that area where the boat went through as my lightest and brightest in the water. Now I'm making the dark shadow color for the reed beds. I add more burnt sienna and ultramarine until I have a dark enough mixture. This layer will help give the reed beds their form by darkening the sides of the reeds. I'm using quick, thin marks to describe the reeds. This creek is very marsh-like, and originally I wasn't going to include the foliage debris in the water, but I decided last minute to add some in. I create this color by adding some yellow ochre and raw umber. I add in more detail until I think everything looks balanced, and then I'm done. I really like how this turned out. I think I captured the energy of the scene well. I like how the wild and plentiful reeds and other foliage contrast the still, slow-moving water. Let me know what you think about it and if it's a scene you would consider painting. If you liked this video or found it interesting, be sure to like and subscribe. I'll be putting out new drawing or painting videos soon. Thank you for watching and have fun painting!